Hey, so I'm gonna do a couple of live album reviews. Um, you're not gonna be able to hear the audio, unlike the last one I did where I accidentally had the audio. Uh, so it's not gonna be very exciting. I'm just gonna make some comments while I listen to two albums, likely two albums. Um, I'm gonna smoke this Corojo Reserva. Uh, Hecho Emano, Honduras. So it's probably not actually a Cuban this time. I don't know if I've had a cigar from Honduras. But the first album I'm listening to is uh, Brand Nubians In God We Trust. It's the 28th anniversary, which is kind of an odd number, but you know, fuck it, why not? And then if I'm still feeling up to it after, I'm gonna do Drizzle's album. If you're reading this, it's too late because I hear it's supposed to be good. Um, I'm skeptical, but figure I'll give it a shot. And even though I just insulted it, I am gonna give it an honest listen. I'm not just a hater to be a hater or anything. It's like Quali says. I call these rappers baby seals because they club you to death. So, Brand Nubian and God We Trust, 1993, 14 songs, 55 minutes. First track is Allah You Akbar. And that's not Allahu Akbar, it's Allah You Akbar. This album's it's all about 5% Nation stuff, which you should read up on if you're not familiar. A lot of people mistakenly think that it's a Black Power group. Now, it is a Black Power group in that they are trying to empower the black community, but it's not a Black Power group as in eliminate all the white people. So, anyway, Allah You Akbar. And they're good Muslims. They follow the Quran generally in the way it's meant to be followed. I say generally because there are so many interpretations of it, even though there really shouldn't be because it's written in a language that still exists. It's been a while since I listened to this album, but it's definitely one I've heard a number of times. Yeah, oh, great opening track. Now we're on Ain't No Mystery. It's got that classic late 80s, early 90s feel. Yeah, I'd go a little late 80s on that one. Next one is Meaning of the 5%. So this is an important song for the nation. This is like going to church. I mean, the whole album is, but this in particular is like a sermon. And as far as the context goes, I think it's basically right. I just think the numbers they use, 5%, 10%, 85%, are fairly arbitrary. Um, but the point is right. So that's not something worth getting hung up on. It's kind of like with the Bible. There's some stuff that's meant to be taken literally, and some that's more metaphorical. But again, the basic intent is right. Next track is "Pass the Gat." It's a anti-gun violence song. Rolling over on a motherfucking bat. Rolling over on a motherfucking bat. Rolling over on a motherfucking bat. It's also about this track's also about defending yourself, but it's not about using a gun for violence. It's about using it for protection. Uh, Unfortunately, that's sort of almost necessary, but I don't support guns in any form because it just escalates the level of violence. Like, if you have a gun, I'm going to get a bigger gun. If I get a bigger gun, you're going to get an even bigger gun. And that's not a slippery slope. It's just the way it works. Read Power Over Peoples. Next star is called the Black Star Line. The Black Star Line was about Marcus Garvey encouraging black people to move back to Africa. Oh, and Black Star is the Black Star line, and Marcus Garvey is where Mos Def and Kweli came up with the name for their group, Black Star. Pretty good line. Got some reggae vibes here. Definitely another great track. Next one is Allah and Justice. The point is live right. It's about how to live, what the good life is, and God's justice. I gotta pause for a second. It was cool in Phoenix last night, but it was way too hot tonight. So I threw on my Shaolin vs. Wu Tang, which is a really great Raekwon album. Great. Oh, now we're on the gods. In the 5% nation, men who are righteous are gods. Women are earths. And it's not a better or worse thing. And here they say the black man is God, and that's a fact. But I do believe that that's something that has shifted to some degree, in that there are people who are physically black, but then there are people who are black in spirit or socioeconomically. I sort of fall into that second category. I don't consider myself a black man, but socioeconomically, that is the group that I relate most to. I'm not denying the privilege that I do have, for the white privilege that I do have, because that does exist. But at the same time, as far as the hip-hop community goes, being white can be difficult. And being raised a white minority is also difficult. And again, it's a lot of stuff that's sort of more allegorical than literal, though the way they want you to, like, their idea of the good life is definitely very literal. And that's a central question of philosophy, is what is the good life? For them, I don't know if I could really summarize it, but it's basic common sense stuff. Just basic biblical, love your neighbor, be positive, protect yourself, protect your family, don't take shit. Do your job. Next is the travel jam. It might be about I'm not sure what it's about, but it could be about a Hajj to Mecca. Okay, it's definitely not. Okay, it's about traveling to, so where they're from in New York, um, it's where they live. New York is so segregated. They're surrounded by black people, so when they travel around, they I mean they travel to similar communities, but um, it's just not the same everywhere, because New York is so extremely segregated. And they're from the Bronx, which is just all like 90+% black. The Buddha bless. This is a great Sadat song. It's Sadat, Grand Poobah, and Lord Jamar are the three MCs in Brand Nubian. They're all excellent. Sadat is my personal favorite. Um, and I mean, I don't want to rank him, but I love Sadat. He's a great man. They're all great people, but um, Sadat's a different kind of special. I think there's a little bit of an LL tribute in this song too. Might be reading a bit too much into that, but the thing with hip hop is the message is coded and layered, and it goes beyond double entendres. In a good hip hop song, in some of the best hip hop songs, every word means something. Not only does it service the rhyme, but every word is a reference. All right, next track is "Rock the Set," which also feels a bit like an LL tribute. Ooh, yeah, I love this beat. It's a good anthem type song. It reminds me of Athletic Mike League from Detroit. Look them up. The bald head dread. Bald head slick to click. That's a guru. I mean, that's not the reference he was making. That's just what it makes me think of. I saw Gangstar once in concert. Uh, Primo and Guru. They had it was a stadium show, and Guru always did this, to my knowledge. But he had them turn on all of the lights. Oh, so that's killing it in this track. Mm. My favorite track on this album, on this listen. It's been a while since I've heard this album, so probably 10, 15 years. I've listened to other of their stuff more recently. Like I just listened to Sadat stuff kind of at random, and Brand Nubian stuff kind of at random. But I mean, I have listened to. I don't want to say I've listened to everything they've done, but I've heard all their studio releases and some other like mix. I don't know, mixtapes is the right word, but UNI verse. That's a Supreme Alphabet. Maybe rock the set. Maybe rock the set. Rock the set. Brownsville. Shout out Brownsville. East New York. Those areas are all starting to get gentrified. Can't let that happen. I mean, they're not quite there yet, but they're moving that way. Nobody wants that. At least no New Yorker wants that. No real New Yorker wants that. And I don't want to be a gatekeeper about what it means to be a real anything. All right, so now we got Love Me or Leave Me Alone. This track is one of my favorites. I actually have the single on vinyl, autographed by Sadat. It's on my Insta. I don't want to pick it up. Love this track though. Love Me or Leave Me Alone. That's me to a T. And it's a good back and forth kind of maybe a little bit like Tribe. Yeah, I'd say it's Tribe's a good comparison. And it's not like a rip-off situation. It's just all art is connected. Oh, this track's so good. Mm. My mama did not teach me that. She didn't teach me shit. Oh, that keep my tongue in my mouth line MURS borrowed later. Maybe not deliberately, but he did borrow it later. And I'd be surprised if it wasn't deliberate. He knows his hip hop. I think they sampled Chopsticks at the end of that song. Next track, Steal Ya Ho. The treble, two for the bass. The treble, two for the bass. This is classic hip hop braggadocio, but like in not in the way that Drake tells you to take your panties off. More like in a suave motherfucker guy. Like he's gonna get your girl even if he wasn't a rapper. This is just a fun song, but I think it, I think in a way it could be kind of a meta criticism of rappers um, that are purely sexual, like purely. At the same time, they are then younger guys, and I'm sure they're trying to get laid too. It's a. I'd really like to hear what they have to say about this song. I'm actually going to ask him right now. I don't know if he'll answer or not. He doesn't always reply. I bug him. I mean, I hope I don't bug him, but I bug him a lot. I wasn't picking my ass, if that's what you thought. I was scratching my lower back. This chair is fucking uncomfortable. Oh, we're on steady bootlegging right now. It's a great track. I wasn't really following the lyrics, and I don't remember what it's about. But it's a great track. Kind of a weird beat, like funky, but staccato or something. I don't know. Stay fluid, even in staccato. That's Mos Def. Black and blue. I have to imagine this is about cops. And yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, I remember this track. So it's about people getting arrested for some bullshit. And and police psychology. This is a good song. Because like it's still true, and the stakes are even higher now because more people are just getting shot. And he's talking about black devils here too, so that's why I'm saying like it's never just a white black thing. Like it's not race. I'm sure to some it was, but at least that's the way I interpret it. And from conversations I've had with them, that's how I understand they mean it. Though that said, I think they would be more, and quite reasonably, overly cautious with white people for honestly totally fair reasons. Yeah, and so they're talking about how the police think they have power, but they don't really. So, like, don't mess with us for some bullshit, or we'll leave you black and blue. It's really a brilliant song. It's a lot better than, like, Cop Killer is a great classic strong song, but this is a much better message. I mean, no offense to Ice-T. Like, that's a strong and brave song. But this is it's even better than KRS's Sound of the Police and Black Cop. probably the best of this type, this message that I've heard. Yeah, and it just escalates. Like he's saying, if the beatdown doesn't make you leave us alone, it's going to escalate. Now, again, I don't condone violence, but this is just the reality of the situation. It's self-defense, except when it's not, and that's not okay. But by and large, it's self-defense, not on the part of the cop, on the part of the black man being shot. Punks jump up to get beat down. Yep. And this is basically summarized as talk shit, get hit. And this is another "Don't fuck with us" song. It's really a self-defense album. All the violence in this album is about self-defense, and that is acceptable in the Quran. Is defense, self-violence for self-defense is acceptable. I'm generally a pacifist, but I'm going to defend myself. I'm not going to start anything, and that's what they're not talking about starting stuff. They're talking about not taking it. Hmm. And this is the end track, and it's just a nice groovy track too. This would, if they were playing this today, this would be a song with a huge circle pit kind of thing going on. It's got that kind of energy. Maybe not a circle pit, but a nice mosh pit. Oh, here's some mosh pit history for you in a second. The song's about to end. I just want to Great album. It's a solid 10. Solid 10. So anyway, the origin of mosh pits. Uh, it's certainly possible something like this predated this event, but in 1976, something like that, the band Fear played on Saturday Night Live. Um, Great New York City punk band. You should listen to them if you haven't heard it. All their stuff sounds exactly the same, and it's about exactly the same stuff, but at the same time, it doesn't, and it's brilliant. I've seen them live a few times, and their shows are just nuts. So basically, what happened on SNL was the crowd, like as soon as they started coming out, the crowd was just they just kind of rushed down, um, and were moshing, not in a circle pit or anything, but just shoving and like slam dancing, but not like hardcore slam dancing. I mean, slamming into each other, fighting but not fighting. Now, mosh pits aren't about. They're about letting out aggression on people who can uh, take a hit, not a hard, not don't punch people, but can take a shove. And if you fall, you help somebody up. Now, I've been to the kinds of shows where that's not what happens. It's at a Cold Chamber concert, I got knocked down and somebody kicked me in the head 6 times. Um, I mean, I've got a million mosh pit stories. At a Slipknot concert, they it was in this huge field, and people started these massive fires, and there was mosh pits going around the fires, and I remember this one guy got pushed into the fire, and he was just laying there in the fire, screaming like "fuck yeah." True story. And eventually, someone pulled him out, so he didn't burn to death. um, uh, and the arena people, whoever was running it, it was at a Cricket Pavilion, Desert Sky Pavilion, whatever the fuck it's called now. If you're from Phoenix, you know it. Um, so yeah, so they kept putting out the fires, but they couldn't keep up with it, and they weren't going to stop the show because there would have been a riot. Um, First time I saw Slipknot was in '99, I think. I mean, it was it was a tour for their self-titled album, not Make, Feed, Kill, Repeat. I don't know if they toured in Phoenix for that, but it was at Celebrity Theater, and the entire Celebrity Theater has like it's got a circular stage that rotates with seats around it in a circle, but there's like a little standing room only area in a circle around the stage where you can mosh. They don't usually have hardcore shows though. They actually do a lot of hip hop and like R&B shows there. So it was a weird place for them to play. But the aisles and the seats, it was like the entire stadium, like the entire venue arena, well, not arena, a Celebrity Theater. So yeah, it's a theater. It's just it's weird to call it a theater because it's not a traditional theater, but it is a neat venue. But like, I mean, I saw this dude straight get his arm broken. So don't be an asshole. But mosh pits are cool. Um, I'm gonna pause here for a minute, and then we'll do the Drake album. All right, so. Uh, and the irony shouldn't be lost on the fact that I'm going to be listening to for the very first time. If you're reading this, it's too late. It's not an entirely pure first listen. I've heard I think 2 tracks off of it from someone who was trying to get me into Drake, and they I did enjoy them as far as Drake songs goes. Now, I don't want to slam Drake, but Drake's not an MC. He's a rapper. Um, but he can put on a show, and he's a great actor. Seems like a really good person, so I certainly have nothing against him. Uh, I just some people take rap really seriously, and I'm one of those people. He is good for rap because he brings attention to better music. Um, like if you listen to Drake, then you might listen to Lil Wayne or even Nicki Minaj, who she's also really mainstream but does have a good feminist message. Drake's message is, from what I've gathered, is I'm going to help you get your girl's panties off, and that's fine. Like there's room for that. It's like kind of like R&B. I'm not really an R&B fan because I never really had a good relationship. And R&B is depressing as shit when you don't have a good relationship. So, um, trying to think. So anyway, so I've heard that there are two good Drake albums. One is If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. The other is Take Care. I've also heard the Future album is good. I have listened to that album, but like I didn't hear Drake on it, so it was just overproduced. Not in a bad way because I don't like Drake. So like they fixed Drake by making him not sound like Drake, and Future is really good. I want to give that album another listen too, as well as some Lil Wayne and Drake stuff on Lil Wayne because I think that would be better, like the Young Money Millionaires. So anyway, it's 7:30 a.m. in here in Phoenix. So if you're reading this, it's too late, and I am up late, not early. It's an hour and 8 minutes long, but I mean I don't got shit to do, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, I do have stuff I do. It just doesn't matter when. So, all right. First track up is called Legend, and I mean, he is a legend. Like he is. He's absolutely a star of the highest caliber, a total A-lister. Um, I mean, not that that really matters, but you can't take anything away from what he's accomplished. And as a Canadian, I have another kind of respect for him because growing up in Canada and breaking into the hip hop community is difficult. Um, it's getting easier because of people like Drake and because of Griselda in Buffalo. There's always also been connections through Detroit uh, and maybe to some extent Chicago, but I think more Detroit. Anyway, so Legend by Drake. Here we go. Love the production already. I do expect it to be well produced. All his stuff I've heard that isn't club music is really well produced. So it's just a matter of how annoying Aubrey is. This is a good track. I really like this track. I still don't really like his style, like his delivery, but this is really, really good. Lyrically, too. So credits to Wheezy for writing this track. Really, really good track. Yeah, it's relatable. I mean, even though I'm not a fucking 500 millionaire, it some of this stuff still just applies. And to be honest, I'm a legend in my own right. You might not know my name, but you know something I've done. I'm a man who uses many names. And I'm poor, but I'm poor by choice. I don't need money. I do need a new chair. What I do is figure out exactly how much money I need, and then I make that much money. Which is another reason I don't like rappers like Drake, because they're talking of, young money millionaire. And I get that the black community needs more money, so my situation is different than theirs. But I don't like people rapping that are glorifying money. And he's not here so far, so that was a really solid, and that's a strong opening too. Like, that's a strong choice to open an album. All right, now we're on Energy. Feeling this one too already. Does he have enemies? I kind of think everybody likes Drake. I'm feeling this one too, though. This is good. 30 million. He's got more than 30 million. Oh, on his two mortgages. Yeah, that makes sense. This is a good track. Ooh. Yeah. 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 Yep. Yep. Yeah. We gonna see. Doesn't have time for your bullshit. Yeah. No, this is a good. This is a strong track. Wheezy had to have written this too. If he didn't, I'm sorry, Aubrey, but I don't know you to be a writer. If you did write this is impressive. I'm glad how it like ended and then came back. Enemies. All right, now we're on 10 bands. I like the beat. Money bands. Okay, so this is about money. Ten bands. So I think he's saying he's got 100 grand, like on him. I hate that oh no thing that he does. I mean, I know rappers have styles like that, and his drives me nuts. So he's talking about people sleeping on him, and he doesn't care. So like, if you're a hater, he doesn't care. Gone till November means he's crazy, and he's insecure, is what he's saying. Like, ultimately, not like he's confident, but he needs a DJ Khaled. At least that's the way I took that. All right, now we're on know yourself. Knowledge of self is a big 5%er thing, so that connects to brand Nubian. I mean, it connects to other stuff too, but he's talking some good hip hop history, mainstream hip hop history, but hip hop history nonetheless. And I think he's loosely using a Kanye sample here, or something Kanye sampled. And he keeps talking about the six, and Toronto ain't shit. I'm Canadian, so I can say that. Yeah, so he's talking about how money and fame have changed him. 1, 2, 6, whip my, whip my. This is an okay track, but this is kind of like the boring Drake tracks I don't like. So far, I'd say this is the only miss. Air horns. I wouldn't have put air horns on this album because it's kind of more of a serious album. I farted. I don't know if you heard that. Or gun sounds. Okay, it's still Know Yourself. It, Alright, so I am kind of feeling this track in the end because of the way he cut it out with the interlude. It's kind of like a bad version of a Kendrick song. Um, and if you like Drake, you should like that song a lot. For me, it's my least favorite on the album so far. And I have liked the three before it. Now we're on No Telling, and I love the beat already. He definitely gets the best producers. Or not the best, but some of the best. I mean, the best producers aren't going to work with Drake. I go heard this one. Mm, mm, no, 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 no. Getting too predictable. Mm-hmm. can't see another squad trying to cross us. Uh-huh. You gonna get your OVO goons on me, Drake? This flow's okay on this one. And he's saying that he's matured, and I think that's true. This song was good at first, but it's getting boring. Too long. It's not that long songs are bad, it's that this one doesn't need to be 5 minutes. I mean, it kind of does because it's like a super chill beat. Like, musically, I understand why it's long. It's just that Drake can't carry a song this long. It is impressive that he's doing this without features, or at least to this point. I think there's a couple. Um, but yeah, it's, I mean, a rapper that can carry an album without a feature, even if they're not an MC, just a rapper, it is still impressive. I like this track, Madonna. Maybe he's trying to make up for that embarrassing Kiss thing. I don't think that was embarrassing for Madonna. I think it was embarrassing what Drake did. So he's talking about somebody else, but he's comparing her to Madonna. Probably some pop star he's trying to bang. This is a good track. And yeah, this new is going to pick up. This one's Six God, which is a good nickname for him. So he's saying that he's not fucking around on his girl. And that's good. Oh, jeez. You can have her when I'm finished. He is kind of misogynist. Like these lyrics are misogynist. Not like super offensively misogynist, but yeah. And this is a good track. See, now he's saying where he came from is hard, but I don't think where he came from. I mean, he came from Toronto, and he didn't grow up poor. So, I mean, maybe Toronto poor, but he's saying he doesn't give a fuck about what anyone's saying now, but I really think he does. I think he gives a lot of fucks. I mean, even I don't care much, but I care enough. Star 67. This sounds like a shot at Pusha T. I might have misinterpreted that, but maybe this is what started that feud where he got bodied by Pusha. Doing 90 on the bridge. 90. You're bragging about driving 90. And now he's kind of implying that he sold coke, but he didn't sell coke. Star 67 still, it had a change in the middle. I do like the change. Now he's talking about how he struggled becoming an actor. And I'm sure he had to do work to do it, but like he doesn't have the story that's tragic. I mean, I do get like the whole can't just work a day job. Like that's definitely relatable. And here he's singing without auto tune, which isn't bad. I do it better with a writer in my system. So like, is he admitting that he's using ghostwriters? I like his flow at the end of this track. I like the Nas reference. Yeah, it was a good track mostly. A few bad bars. I mean, great production, but again, it's all the stuff has great production. At least everything I've heard. Preach. So far, I do not like this song at all. I guess it's the party next door guy, but not feeling this at all. I mean, he's got a good flow and he's good at what he does, but not for me. Drake's part on this track's alright. I like the beat at the end, like the change. Wednesday night interlude. Not feeling this at all either. Also has Party Next Door. And it's his part I'm not thinking at all. Production on this is kind of like 90s hip hop or 90s R&B. Farted again. I am starting to feel the beat midway through again. I think Drake's about to come in. I hope he comes in hard. Nope, he didn't. And it's not even Drake. Oh, it paused. Alright, so yeah, that track was garbage. Wednesday night interlude. Now we're on Used To, and it's got Lil Wayne, so I imagine this is good. And I imagine he wrote all the lyrics to this song. Feeling this one. I like it when he goes hard. I like the drumline reference. They never tell you when you get the crown it's going to take some getting used to. You just expect that being at the top of your field is easy. I don't even remember hearing Little Wayne on that. Now we're at 6 man, but I'm gonna have to pause for a minute. So this is actually the next day. I when I was listening to that shitty Drake album, I inhaled way too much of that cigar I was smoking. So I felt kind of nauseous and closed my eyes for a few minutes and then just fell asleep. I'm not going to finish the album because it sucks. Alright, see ya.